What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Outside the Stadium. We have today a pretty special guest. You know what they say, behind every man is an amazing woman, and behind every really impressive, successful sports page is this man, the CEO, Mikey Domagala. Mikey, it's good to have you on.
Oh, what a gentleman I am behind this fabulous page of mine, right? No, but guys, thank you so much for having me on. You guys have a great podcast with all your NBA guests and everything like that. I'm keeping up with you guys on Instagram, and I'm happy to be joining you for this big-time debate with four Long Islanders. Let's get to it.
Oh, yeah. Long Island strong, man. That is the most exciting part about it. But, yeah, dude, check out this guy's platform. He's on Instagram, he's on Facebook, and he's on YouTube. Go check him out on YouTube. So I go by Kush, coming at you with that Rockets jersey is Harry. What's up, Harry?
It's good, everybody.
And coming at you with that OTS background is Dero, and that sad little Celtics jersey. What's up, Dero?
Here we go. It's gonna be good. What's going on, guys?
Yeah. It's all right. It's all right. All right. So I'll lay it off to our host for this debate, Dero. So take us away.
Yeah. So after past experiences of doing debates with Harry and Coach, I realized that I need to sometimes break up the fights. So I'm going to be the moderator, or mediator, whatever you want to call it. So first topic, and Mikey, we're obviously going to start with you. Thank you again so much for coming on. Who rules the NBA post LeBron James?
Ooh, you sent me a message to tell me that you want to ask me this question, and I've thought about it over these past couple of days, and the biggest conclusion I've come to is you're stupid if you don't say it's Luka Doncic. Because if you look at all the other factors of Ja Morant, Zion Williamson, Giannis, and all those players who have so much potential, Zion maybe has injury trouble over the next couple of years. Ja Morant, it's tough to kind of put a knock on him. Giannis and the age factor, not that he's so old, but I think if you look at what Luka Doncic is doing at 20, 21 years old, 42 points in his first playoff game, breaking all these Maverick records already, all these triple-double records. He's just this polished professional I can't even imagine what he's going to be in 5 years. So I think after LeBron, it goes straight to Luka Doncic. They'll be winning championships before we know it.
Okay, that's very good. I'm just going to go next because I literally have Luka as well. I think it's an obvious choice, and I'm glad, Mikey, we agree on that. The dude averaged 28, 8.8, and 9.4 this year. He's almost averaging a triple-double. He has more triple-doubles than Jason Kidd had in his career in less than 2 years. Jason Kidd, no knock to him to do the Hall of Famer, but I mean the things that Luka is doing is crazy. If you collect autographs and sports cards, Luka's card is just already kind of up there. And like you said, 42 points in his first game, 21 in his first playoff game, 21 years old. It's incredible. So I'll pass it on. Push, you want to kind of show us up a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I knew this was going to happen coming. I mean, I didn't know about you, Mikey, but with these two guys, they got this triple-double fetish that they literally cannot get off. But onto this question, man. Like, when I saw this, I was like, oh, wait, are we still in the LeBron James era? I mean, we're talking about a guy who's won one championship since 2013. So in my mind, I mean, his era's been over. I mean, and listen, I took a different route with this. I didn't go with the player. I went with the team. And I really have two teams, but I'm going to touch on the second one later. So I'm going to leave it with my little homer style, and it's the Golden State Warriors. And I think everybody's really forgetting about this team that's had one down year. I mean, this is a team that won a championship with the same core without KD. And now they have Andrew Wiggins, who I just want to say listen, this is not a big jump, went from 44 to 46% when he came to the Warriors. But this is big. On the defensive end, he went from 0.7 steals a game to 1.3 steals a game, and 0.9 blocks to 1.4 blocks a game. And this is a guy who now has the right environment to get him to really focus on the defensive end. And he still has listen, David Fizdale said, you're putting a number one talent on a bunch of champions, the guys with a championship mentality. And you forget, what else did they get in that deal? They got the 2021 top three protected, but then it would be the next year of the Minnesota Timberwolves. They also have Damian Lee, Steph Curry's brother-in-law, 36% from three, 88% from the free throw line, an elite defender, ranked number 17 among shooting guards, 3 slots behind Drew Holiday, 2 above Victor Oladipo, and a fantastic rookie in Eric Paschall, 50% field goal, 70%, 77% from the free throw line, and whoever that number 1 pick is or the number 2 pick is this year, I trust the Warriors to make good decisions on these 2 upcoming picks, and I think they're going to be right in the mix in the next 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, 25 years.
I got to hop in here. I have to hop in here. Now, you just called Damian Lee an elite defender. You brought him up in front of Pascal instead of Eric Pascal first, which got me a little confused. Also, if LeBron's era has been done since 13, to hop in on the debate, who's been the face of the league since 2013?
Who's been the face of the league? The face of the league has been the big three of the Golden State Warriors.
It's a cop out. Come on.
It's been the team that's won 3 championships. It's been, these guys have been beating LeBron for years already. I mean, you could still talk about LeBron in terms of stats and stuff, but this is a guy who's been losing consistently at the highest level since 2013.
Sounds like Steph Curry is the pick.
Yeah, that's what I was about.
I was about to chime in. So I will just say this. I respect the call with the Warriors. I do think people are sleeping on them. I do not agree with the assessment. I think it's been LeBron's era for sure. But, to tailor off that and not go with Luka, I'm going Jason Tatum. Every single year, he has gotten better and better and better. He's the face of the Celtics, which has been a franchise that's known for winning. And I just think they're going to have building blocks around them. He's going to be a guy that gets, my predictions, 2 championships. And he's just, every year, I don't even know what stats to predict next year. He's just going to go up. It's going to go up, up, and up, and up. The guy is so young, and he's just going to be a leader for that Celtics squad. And the sky's the limit for him, honestly.
No disagreements from my end. So I think
no surprise there. No surprise there.
Okay, Kush. Okay. I'm looking forward to the rest of this thing. All right, moving on. Harry, you got the Harden jersey, so I'm starting with you. Will James Harden win a championship?
Absolutely, in my opinion. And I'll tell you why. Because, for one, he's the number 1 scorer with a left hand ever. He's a leader, and he's only getting better and better. He's had moments in with his career, playoffs. He's known as a choke artist in the playoffs. He just needs to put it together 1 year. Do I think he gets multiple rings? No. But I do think he gets 1 ring the rest of his career. I think he just has to put it together. I like what the Rockets system is, and people don't realize it. Yeah, they're small ball. They're going to get out rebounded. I think they're aware. The thing, what puts them in the game is literally they hit 40% of their threes for 4 games in a series. I like their chances. You tell me that, they're going to win. So, they have to put it together 1 year, and they do it all regular season. Westbrook's, a beast. He's getting to the rim. And I just think one time they will put it together. It might be this year that they do it. And I said this in a previous debate. I think it might be this year, and a lot of people are sleeping on them. I think if Westbrook just comes back healthy, they're going to knock out the Thunder easy. And then if they get past the Lakers, I mean, who knows, And again, last thing, and I'll leave it off on this. Jordan took off those 2 years, I think it's 95 and 96. Who won? The Houston Rockets. And this is an odd year again. Houston Rockets are coming this year. I'm just saying it right now.
Wow. All right. Yeah. Kush, I'll let you go last. So Mikey, please enlighten us.
The hand is up, like in the classroom, because no way on God's green earth will the Houston Rockets win it this year. Listen, I don't have too much doubt that they'll bring in a championship, but James Harden needs to change up his play style in order for them to win a ring. And that's just my opinion. I respect what he's done in the bubble scrimmages and, at the end of, before coronavirus, started to elevate his game, pick it up a little bit, and even till today. But before that, James Harden and the Houston Rockets, come playoff time, they die by the 3. You could live and die by the 3, but they're always just going to die by the 3 because of James Harden's shot attempts. If you look at what James Harden was coming from the Thunder to the Rockets, oh my God, he was a freaking maniac. He had his jumper. He was more of a mid-range guy. He'd slash to the rim. Then all of a sudden, the past couple of years, he's just this dribble, cross back, chuck a 3, brick off the backboard. So that's where I lose trust in James Harden leading a team to the championship. I think if he leads a team to the championship, Westbrook has to be on point. They need 1 more piece. I don't think they have enough pieces yet. I think they're too small. And, Harden needs to change up his play style for them to get a championship.
So just to confirm, you think he will win one day or he won't? Just to
I think he will. Okay. But it's gonna, if he doesn't change, no way.
Got it. Okay, I like that. I'm gonna go next. I'm just gonna read off some stats and then we'll let Kush go against everything. James Harden, 8-time All-Star, is assist champ, 2-time scoring champ. He's an MVP, 6th man of the year, 6-time All-NBA. Russell Westbrook, 9-time All-Star, 2-time All-Star MVP. He won the MVP award, 2-time scoring champ, 2-time All-Star MVP, and the dude's Mr. Triple-Double. Yes, he is Mr. Triple-Double. Now, I don't know, like, these guys aren't stupid. They look at their resumes and they're like, there's one more thing that we need. And like we said in our past debate, if Westbrook gets a ring, I don't know how high he goes on the point guard list, but he's going pretty high. He is, Kush. So I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know what other piece they need to do it, but they are going to figure it out. The Houston Rockets organization has to figure it out, unless one of them walks away just like Kevin Durant did. That, if they break it up, I think they'll be fools. I think they need to keep it together. The Houston Rockets organization needs to figure out what the heck they need to win with one of the best scorers I've ever seen in my entire life and the guy who has the most heart and the most hustle I've ever seen. So that's my thing. They will get it eventually. It might just take some time, and they need to keep Harden and Westbrook together. Kush, what's going on, dude?
Yeah, I mean, firstly, you kind of called me off guard here. I thought the question was, will Harden ever get a ring? And I was going to go on the affirmative. I think he's a great-looking dude, a beautiful beard. I think he's going to get married, and he's going to live a very, very happy life. But if we're talking about championships, I mean, D-Ro, from you, I heard a lot of meaningless stats in the past. I think we're talking about the future right now. And listen, James Harden, really, I'm not going to say much on this topic because my opinion, by the way, on him, I've hit on him for years, but it has changed a bit. I mean, James Harden this year was actually a top 10 shooting guard defensively, and he's really putting in the effort, and I have to give props where it's due, and this guy has really stepped it up. And I will say, actually, Harry, to your point, I think if he is going to win a ring, I would have said never, but now that Russell Westbrook has went down, I think there is a huge chance James Harden can pull off a ring this year, because if Westbrook stays out, he could fill himself, he could surround himself with all those three-point shooters who, nobody's scared to shoot. Nobody's scared, and they're all shooting at high percentage. I think that's the perfect team to have around James Harden. But if we're going to talk about the future and if James Harden will ever win a ring, I have to agree with Mikey here, and I say he needs to take a much different route. Maybe have a different, give up some more shots so he could focus more on the defensive end, because he's a built dude. This guy can play defense if he wants to. He really has the talent. If he can change up his play style and maybe, ditch Russell Westbrook as fast as possible, he may have a chance at a ring. But I'm going to have to go with the negative over here.
I respect that. I will just say two things. I think the number one player locked in right now in the bubble is James Harden. I don't know if he's going to win this year. Again, I didn't say he's for sure going to win, but I think the winner's coming out of the Clippers or Rockets. I don't think the Lakers have it because they're missing Bradley and Rondo. I think they don't have enough pieces to keep up with the Clippers. The Clippers are shutting them down. The Rockets have too much scoring. I just don't see it. I don't see the Lakers. I don't know why people are hyping them up so much. I think it's going to be Clippers.
I said this 5 weeks ago. Stop talking about the Lakers as if they're going to play them. The Portland Trailblazers, I said this 5 weeks ago. 5 weeks ago. I said the Portland Trailblazers will get the 8th seed and beat the Lakers. It's still happening.
That's bold. I'm not going to go against that. I think Lakers come out of it, but they'll come out in 7. They're going to be tired as hell, and the Rockets are waiting for them right there, and that's when they're going to hit their roadblock.
Yeah, I want to hop in here. I mean, I agree with you guys. I was pushing for the Lakers to win, thinking they're going to almost get it easy with LeBron and AD, turning it up in the playoffs. But then you look at that bench, and that bench looked a lot stronger than it did, a couple months ago. And then you see what they're looking like in the scrimmage games and then in the bubble games. And that bench isn't that deep, because a lot of them could do the same thing. You have like one utility guy in Alex Caruso and maybe, Danny Green who plays some defense. J.R. Smith and Deion Waiters are essentially the same player. KCP could be very inconsistent, even though he's, a good defender. Like you said, without Rondo and Avery Bradley looking to lock up their top guy, that's definitely going to be a problem against the Clippers, So, I don't know if the Lakers are going to do it this year. I really don't know, and I was very confident in them.
So if they don't do it this year, will LeBron James ever win another ring?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah, Kush? No, Harry?
Yes, not this year, but he will.
Okay. It's interesting because, like, on outside the stadium, when we interview these guys, and we're obviously not interviewing the LeBron James and the Stephen Currys of the world, but we're interviewing the guys who come off the bench. Like, they all talk about how you have to have a very, very solid bench. And it's really coming to fruition. And, like, we see it because you don't consider, like, Rajon Rondo, like, the best, so key for the Lakers, but he really is so key. And same with Avery Bradley. So, Kush, I'll let you start off with the next question and the final topic. what player will take the biggest player or players will take the biggest step next year?
Yeah, I mean, you and Harry know what's coming. I mean, Mikey, you don't know, but this is when I'm going to take my time, and I'm going to let everybody know that I've been screaming this from the rooftops. I have, the player who will take the biggest step next year is the player who I said will end up as a top 5 point guard of all time, and that's Jamal Murray of the Denver Nuggets, who I said that, 5 months ago. But I will add a second player.
Wow.
To this mix, man. Let me. So first
Top
of all,
5 all time, Mikey. Top 5.
I hear that. Believe me, I heard. I heard it.
And I will add a second player to this mix. I will add Michael Porter Jr., who I said Jamal Murray will end as a top 5 point guard of all time, and he'll win 3 championships alongside Michael Porter Jr., to which Dero responded, bro, they don't even play Michael Porter Jr. Okay.
That's not that crazy to say, Kush.
Haven't they? I mean, listen, I'm just going to list off 3 of Michael Porter Jr.'s games right now, and then I'm going to move to Jamal Murray. In his last 3 games before the bubble, before the playoffs, where he played the most minutes, he was 12 for 16 from the field, 11 for 19, 10 for 18. Then from the 3-point line, 4 for 6, 5 for 9, 4 for 7, 12 rebounds, 15 rebounds, 12 rebounds. This guy's 6'10". He's 22 years old. He's going to be a stud alongside Jamal Murray. And now on to Jamal. I mean, this guy shoots 46% from the field and 37 and 38% from the 3-point line in his previous 2 years. And the biggest indicator for improved shooting is free throw shooting, to which he is an 88% free throw shooter. And I'll move to the defensive end for a second. If we go through the top 10 point guards in the league, the defensive real plus minus, at number 7 is Ricky Rubio. At number 8 is Marcus Smart. And tied for 9th is Malcolm Brogdon and Jamal Murray. This guy puts in the effort. He packed on 15 pounds of muscle over the break. He does not pack on 15 pounds of fat like Zion Williamson. This guy has public appeal. This guy got dome on Twitter. This guy was signed for a 5-year, $170 million contract. And yesterday, I mean, listen, you don't believe me? Believe the Utah Jazz. I mean, yesterday he went 13 for 20 from the field, 6 for 9 from the 3-point line. And if you noticed at the end of the game, when he came in the game, from that point on, the last 12 possessions that the Nuggets scored on were all scored and assisted by Jamal Murray. And if you watch the pick and roll with him and Nikola Jokic, who is, the supposed star of this team, the Utah Jazz acted as if a pass to Jokic was the preferable option. They doubled Jamal Murray off pick and roll almost every single time, leading to some Jokic open threes and leading to some Jokic open jumpers, and obviously Jamal's patented, contested, ridiculous 3-point shots. So listen, I've been saying it for a while, but I will keep saying it. Next year, the year after, keep going. This guy is a superstar, and this guy will literally go down top 5 all-time point guards.
Okay. Anyone want to jump in and say anything there?
I'll hop in because that was one of the boldest takes I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, thank you. Harry and I have been saying it for way too long, so Mikey, thank you for being here.
Yeah, believe me, you guys are not losing your mind. But wait, he goes by Kush, right? You go by Kush, my dude over there? Kush, you got to stay off the Kush, man. Because Jamal Crawford, yeah, he's a baller, but top 5 all time? If you said maybe he'd sneak top 5 in the best point guards in the NBA, I could respect it, which I still don't think would happen. He is a baller, but me, who's taking the biggest jump, like you mentioned, Kush, Michael Porter Jr., and got to give the Knicks some love, I think RJ Barrett. And I'll cover both. I'll start with RJ. I think RJ is going to take a big jump next year because he hears the subliminal noise from the NBA media. He sees Ja and Zion getting all this love and all these other rookies getting all this love. RJ Barrett had a great year as a rookie. He had like 17 points per game. Yeah, maybe 42% shooting, which isn't that hot. But he hears the noise. They need to build around him, and he has a lot to prove in his second year in New York to make these fans even happier, if that's possible. But Michael Porter Jr., I think, is going to take a huge leap. We saw what he's done in the scrimmages and the bubble games and even into the playoffs. That dude's a baller. His pull-up threes, his big body, how versatile he is. I think he's another one to take the big steps. I think it's going to be RJ and MPJ on my end.
I respect both of them. I mean, RJ Barrett, he's just young. He's going to put it together, and he might be the face of the franchise for the Knicks, I got to say.
So wait. Before you guys jump in, I want to ask Mikey here. So you're saying Michael Porter Jr. is going to take a huge step. How high do you think the Denver Nuggets as a team can go in the next 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, I made a comment. I made a comment on NBA Buzz on Instagram yesterday that the Denver Nuggets will be unstoppable in 2 years because I think that's all it takes. They're going to win a championship over the next 2 to 4 years and maybe even multiple. That's how deep this team is. They're still going to, they mastered the draft. Even if they get, a top 50 pick, they're going to make a good pick for themselves. It's proven over the last couple of years. So I wish I lived in Denver. They're a very good team.
They're loaded.
Oh,
So,
yeah. And the age of those guys is just insane. Jamal Murray's still young as hell, too. It's crazy.
It's just Millsap that's old, and they have Jeremy Grant, who's very underrated, I got to say.
Yep.
By the way, these teams need a veteran, though. That's important. Like you just said, Harry, they have Millsap. It's good that they have Millsap because everyone else is 22 years old. They don't know what's going on.
And he's been to the playoffs many times, so he's been there on that. So I'm going to
By the time these guys are able to drink alcohol at that age, you're old enough to be a veteran at that point. So they'll be good.
I respect that. So I have two guys I'm going to say. So first, I'm going to focus on the team that had the least percentage to get into the playoffs that is currently in the playoffs. And who is that? That is the Oklahoma City Thunder, and that's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. That guy went from a guy that, he's good. Who knows what he's going to do on the Clippers. Got traded away in that big trade for Paul George. He put up 19, 5.9, 3.3, led the team to the playoffs with a high seed. No one would ever have thought that they're 4 and 5 seed. They're intertwined with the Rockets, and that team he already made that team into a contender every year from now on. If he stays there, they just need pieces. Who thought they're making the playoffs with that team? No one thought it. That's why it's 0.2%. That's why I got to go with my boy Shai. He's amazing. Second guy, the Spurs has been a dynasty for the past 20 years, and this is the first year that they didn't make the playoffs. And people are going to say, oh, Popovich might leave. All of that. I don't care if he leaves. Why? They have Derek White. He played for Team USA. The guy is a beast. If he gets the minutes, I'm not saying he's the franchise guy, but he's a number 2 on that team once he gets it going. And I see the Spurs coming right back into contention couple years, 2-3 years, but he's going to be the leader. He's going to take over that team and be the next face or next part of the faces of the Spurs dynasty in the years to come.
I like it. I just don't agree that if Popovich leaves, it's not a big deal. I think it's a very big deal. You could have good talent, but you could also not know what to do with the talent.
I just think, but a guy like Derek White, he's learned what Popovich has done. So yeah, Popovich is a big deal, but as long as there's guys that had Popovich as a coach, they're going to instill that type of mentality into the whole team. And I think Derek White has that mentality. That's why he's on Team USA. People would say, how did that guy make it? He doesn't have great stats. He averaged 11.5 this year. The guy's going to pick it up a notch. We all saw it during the bubble. That's why the Spurs were barely out of the playoffs. And Derek White's going to be a big move for the Spurs for years to come.
I like it. All right, looks like I'm capping this off. So obviously, got to go with the boys. So I'm going Tatum and I'm going Jaylen Brown. I think the duo of Jason Tatum being 21, Jaylen Brown being 23 is an extremely promising duo. I mean, game one of the playoffs, we all saw how good they are together. And I will say one more thing. You need a Batman and a Robin and much more in today's NBA. Right now, the Celtics team is very crowded, right? We got Kemba, we have Hayward, who just can't stay healthy, whatever. But it seems like Jaylen Brown understands that Jason Tatum is going to be the guy, but Jaylen Brown can be the number 2 option. And there are a lot of guys in NBA history who cannot accept that role. Like, for example, Kyrie Irving just, destroyed himself. Literally just destroyed himself because he couldn't accept that. Like, Dwayne Wade has accepted it. Yeah, what?
And destroyed every single team he was on. Listen, let's be real. And he will destroy the Brooklyn Nets this year if they don't dish him and start Caris LeVert.
Yeah. No, listen, I agree. I really don't like Kyrie Irving, but I'm just saying it's very, very rare to find a 23-year-old guy who's going to be like, all right, I'm going to be that second option. It seems like he's okay with it. So those are my guys, Tatum and Jaylen Brown. I think they're going to be running the floor for many, many years to come with the Boston Celtics. So before we go, Mikey, everyone we interview, we ask, who's making the championship and who's winning it. So we're not going to stop with you. Let's hear it, dude. Who we got?
Ooh, that's a tough one, guys. Everything that factors in how these teams have been looking. Do I want to trust the Lakers? But you have to trust LeBron and AD come playoff time. I'm going, changing my pick. I had it LeBron versus Giannis.
Ooh.
Giannis and the Bucks just took an L to the Magic today. And what's up with that? You know, Giannis played full minutes too. Not even just that. I've been watching these Toronto Raptors. They have this next up mentality where they don't give a blank about who scores the ball. They're just scoring the ball, and they're playing defense. Fred VanVleet is a dog, and he's really becoming a star in this league.
Sure.
It's got to be Lakers-Raptors. That's my newest pick.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
I'm going Lakers-Raptors with the Lakers winning.
Wow. Okay.
And let's see. In 7 games. I don't know. I hope it happens because that would be a great series. And I would love to see this Raptors team, you know, be at the forefront again without Kawhi.
I respect that a lot, honestly. It's a good call.
Yeah, I think it's underrated that they just won a championship, and every one of those guys on the team knows that they know that getting a ring matters more than scoring 2 points in a basketball game. I think that's kind of what you're getting at. Like, we don't care who scores. Let's just get the W. I think that's what it comes down to.
And if I could continue, that's my problem with the Clippers. I'm afraid, I've said this prior, that they have too much scoring power, or firepower, if you will, where too many guys are going to want the ball. Like, oh, did Lou Williams touch the ball enough? And did he try to get enough buckets today? Did Montrezl Harrell get his touches? Then there's Marcus Morris, you know. Screw him, he was a Knick. You know, who I don't know if he wants to fit a role where he'll just score 6 points. Like, does he want to go out there and score 16? He had a big game last night, but I don't know if I trust the Clippers. I don't know. It's gonna be very interesting. I'm looking forward to it.
Real quick, talk about fitting a role. I gotta shout out my man who's had a bunch of moments in this bubble NBA, Carmelo Anthony, who will have a bunch more moments. Talk about fitting a role. That dude.
That is a fact. He was written off by the entire NBA, and now he's hitting these clutch shots after clutch shots.
Oh yeah.
It's hard to write off future Hall of Famers. I think that's future Hall of Famers, future MVP, guys who won the finals. Like, you just can't. They have something that you don't. That's the bottom line. Like, these guys are special.
Finals MVP, because I totally agree.
On that note, Mikey, thank you so much for coming on. This has been fantastic. You know, we'll get this up soon, so everyone can get excited. And thanks so much. We'll do this again, bro.
Yeah, guys. No, it was a pleasure meeting you guys, and I'll be ready to share it. Everybody listening, check out InsideBuzz.net for the new Inside Buzz merch. That's my YouTube show.
There we go.
Follow NBA Buzz on social media and join the community. Appreciate it, guys.